Our next presenter, Mark Hilbelink, is director of Sunrise Homeless Navigation Center.
Welcome to Austin, Texas, the live music capital of the world, home to this stage, and a place that 30 million tourists visit every year, and a place where many believe the future of tech resides. But if you live here, against that backdrop, you know that there's another story that ends up in our headlines just as much, and that's homelessness. My name is Mark Hilbelink, and I grew up in the cornfields of Iowa, far from the effects of urban sprawl. But in 2015, the small church that I work for in South Austin saw the rise of homelessness and decided that we needed to do something. With no real experience, we just started helping people and filling gaps in a system full of holes. And 7 years later, Sunrise is the #1 volume service provider of homeless services in the entire community. We became known for innovating pretty much everything and for our integrated model of whole person care for the whole person trauma of homelessness. And no matter how good we got at what we did, we still had to have people come to us. And so people would ride the bus sometimes for 2 hours at a time to get to us, and then 2 hours back, often to find that their stuff had been taken by another camper or by the police. And even when we were serving more than almost double the amount of people that City of Austin even claimed to have, we still knew that there were more, lots more, hiding, scared, and traumatized. Because in Austin, Texas, it's still functionally illegal to be homeless, with a few hundred shelter beds and thousands of people outside every night. So how would we reach those hidden thousands of people? A phone. Hotlines are the industry standard for domestic violence, for suicide prevention hotlines, for mental health crisis, but they've almost never been used in homelessness. We also knew that we couldn't just plop down another center some other place, because there's one thing that I know, and you probably know too, it's that while everyone thinks people should care for those experiencing homelessness, almost nobody wants those people in their backyard. The reality is that any place that we put a center in Austin is in someone's backyard, unless that center is virtual. So in June 2022, we started something called the Sunrise Pilot Hotline. And this right here was the phone that was on my wall next to my desk, and we started giving the number out to a lot of people that we knew who were going out in the woods to look for the people that we needed. And our phone started ringing off the hook. We did a couple hundred calls that first month, and then 1,000, and then 2,000, and then 3,000. And in only a few months from now, the Sunrise Hotline will be the #1 access point for homeless services in all of Travis County. And I'm excited to announce that we are launching that service here tonight at Philanthropic. Our team has learned how to do pretty much everything we could do in person on a phone. The assessment that the government requires anyone moving into subsidized housing to take. We can put people in a Lyft ride and send them from place to place. We can put them on an airplane and send them to family that they can live with in California or New York City or wherever. We can help them schedule medical appointments. We can help them navigate the very difficult homelessness system. And we're finding people that the homeless services sector has had trouble finding for years, including families with young children who are scared of CPS or scared to come to a day center to get services, and Black Austinites who have often been kept at the margins of homeless services for a long time. Sunrise has become the place where people go when they need those services. So what do we need? We need help. We need more money to be able to answer more calls in real time. Because the reality is that most people who call our hotline do not have the same phones that they have in 20 minutes from now. We also solve for a problem that we never even anticipated, which is that the #1 issue facing the homeless services sector in our community is retention and finding people to work in your field. And we've offered a spot just a few weeks ago that was a part-time in-person job. We got 8 applicants. We posted the exact same job on a remote hotline job and got 267 qualified individuals who applied for that job. For an investment of $150,000 or 2 people, we could start the process of answering almost every call live and start a multi-county pilot. Because here's the thing. When we solved this problem here in Travis County, we also figured out that this is a solution that every one of Texas's 254 counties also needs, as well as cities all over the country. This assessment that we do on the phone is actually the thing that frees up federal housing dollars for any county or any city in the entire country to be able to use. And so if we, go ahead. So if we can contract with counties and we can contract with cities to do this service remotely, because it's over a phone, we can actually figure out a way to pay for the hotline itself and pay for our entire operation of serving homeless people in different ways in our community. And we also believe that we can do this because this is an epidemic that is facing our community. But it's not just facing our community, it's facing our entire country. Homelessness is something that is not going away because there are still more people becoming homeless than we're housing at a pretty high rate. This is a great solution because it takes the reality that compassionate people want to work from home and that there are people who are scared to leave where they are because of anti-camping laws. This is a solution that works for the left and the right and pretty much everybody in between, and that's what makes it so rare. This service will transform how homeless services are delivered in Travis County, and it already is. Please help us to take this service, not just to Travis County, but all the way around the country. Thank you.
Great pitch. A couple of operational questions.
Yeah, go for it.
So someone homeless calls you.
Uh-huh.
You answer the call, but what happens operationally after that? Like, what is the actual solution once someone picks up the phone?
It really depends on the situation. So same thing if a person came to a day center that you would find anywhere in a town, they would be able to have options available to them based on what they qualify for. So it really depends. The long and the short of it is that they may end up on a list, but we're able to actually divert people in real time. So if somebody does have a family member that they can go stay with the same day, we can literally put them on an airplane the same day and have them at that person's house by the time that night closes. So there's lots of different options that are available depending on the person's situation, depending on what's available to them, and depending on their vulnerabilities.
How do people find out about your service?
So actually, we launched this today, and if you Google Sunrise Hotline right now, it'll pop up that number, which is amazing. I don't know how that worked. But you can actually call Sunrise. Sunrise is pretty well known in the community for homelessness services, and if you just call that number, or you call any number that we have, it will direct you via phone tree to this line. But also, we are now interconnected with 211 from a back-end standpoint so that they can actually pass everybody through to be able to do these services. Yeah.
Why can't you fully fund it with the strategy of siphoning money from less efficient county programs? That seems great.
Right, absolutely. So this whole thing started with one FTE that we were given back in June. We've now funded the equivalent of 2 more FTEs, but we think we need at least 5 to actually be able to operate it at full capacity and to start that multi-county pilot. Once we get to that level and we can scale it up, we can start going county by county. If you saw that graph, the amount of money that you start generating as you hit some of these smaller counties just becomes astronomical.
I'll ask a follow-up question.
Yep.
So obviously you talked about Travis County and what's
Yep.
happening that we're all seeing here. Since Sunrise has been around, what's the, just to give us an idea as a judging panel, what's the percent impact that you've had on homelessness here right at home?
Yeah, I'm going to say, I don't know the full answer to that, but I'm going to say just in terms of intake in Travis County, Sunrise probably operates or has a market share of, I'm guessing, in the 60 to 70% range of the amount of people that are being served in Travis County right now on the intake side.
What's the longer-term funding plan as this program grows?
Yeah, so basically what it is we could contract directly with different counties that need this service. And when you get into rural counties, they need this position funded because it's required to get federal housing dollars, but they don't have near the quantity of people that we have here in Travis County. So we can come in at, let's say, $50,000, less than an FTE, do this service for them, and it qualifies them for millions of dollars. So it's a good investment for them, and it also allows us, one FTE could probably cover 10 to 15 counties if the counties were the right ones.
Thank you, Mark. Let's give Mark a round of applause.